What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. And today we have been blessed again with another update to the 110 pit bikes that were being released on MXB mods. Now originally we had the CRF 110 big bore, and now we've got a TTR as well. If I'm honest, I think the model is identical. It's just some updated plastics to make it look a little bit more like a TTR. Nothing I didn't notice when I was doing the Honda version of this that the wheels don't actually touch the ground. If you look at my shadow on the ground, you'll see that they're not actually in contact at all. It's a very weird thing. I just thought I'd show that off in third person before I try and go into first and ride around this track. Since we are on a TTR, I thought I would load up the Yamaha test track. I don't think that's a track I have ever played for a video before. I know that I did it on... it was a short, like just a lap on a short before, but never ever for a full-length video. Now, I'm just first impressions straight off the bat. This bike doesn't feel anywhere near as fast as the other one, which is weird. It's got the same engine size, same engine sounds as well. Maybe I just need to get up to speed a little bit. I forgot that that's a really weird turn on this test track. Seems to track through the whoops okay. Can we get up and over the triple? No, we cannot. But the suspension, hello, how did that happen? Up and over this, lovely. If I can't get over the finish line, I'm changing track real quick, because that was actually a little bit of an help. My bad. Right, let's try and have a second attempt at this. I honestly, I thought the bike would be faster. The CRF version is, I don't know, unless it's placebo and I'm just having a weird moment. There's no like different mapping settings or anything at all that should be changed, so maybe the bike is just slower as a result anyway. But this is now on glacial gears. It's an arena cross track, but a bloody big arena cross track, I will say that much. And I think when this track originally released, I had that question of when does an arena cross track become a supercross track, and I think it all depends on the stadium. Like obviously this is just in a massive warehouse, and I think I've still got... I think the road is still here from when I played it last time. I don't think I've actually touched the track since that video. But if you've never seen this track before, really good fun. Like really fun tracks there on. There we go. There are some very big boy lines. Now, one of them being you can rail this corner, absolutely send the crap out of this single here, land on top of this and step off through this rhythm. What was it? Was it a quad? Yeah, you can go quad downside here and then jump all the way into the corner. Like there's some really big lines. So regardless on what size bike you actually use, the track is just great. So I'll link the Yamaha test track and Glacial Gears Arena Cross in the description down below for you. I really didn't expect this bike to be as slow as it is when I hopped on. I thought it would just be a reskinned CRF 110. So, I mean, I guess that kind of makes it a good thing as well, in a way. It means that OTTM, who made these bikes, didn't just switch the plastics up a little bit and call it a day. He's gone through the effort of making each bike kind of have its own characteristics, which I'm here for. I think it's very cool, and it's always nice to get some different bikes into this game, because whilst the OEM bikes are nice, after a while, once you've spent X amount of time on them, they can get a little bit on the boring side. Sometimes you want to mix things up, which is why recently we've seen us riding like Surons and pit bikes and supermoto bikes. I want to try and get like a ridiculous amount of people on an enduro track at some point as well, using the old enduro bikes. I think the traction might be a bit boofed because it's like old stock Poboso traction. The tyres don't apply to those bikes. Same as this bike, to be fair. The updated Beta 18 OEM tyres do only apply to the Beta 18 OEMs, which makes sense. Everything else usually feels a little bit slippery in comparison, but not these. These always felt good. The CRF felt really grippy all the time, and I will say this one does as well, but I think the reason this one feels grippy might just be from a little lack of power. Now, I think when I'm recording this on Saturday morning, my time, and so since we've got Glendale Supercross tonight, IRL, Triple Crown event, I thought it'd be nice to maybe throw some predictions out there. So I think in the 250 class, usually I would always go with Jet. However, for some reason he seems to struggle a little bit in the old Triple Crowns, just lacking that consistency. And with, I think McAdoo's out now, isn't he, after he got an injury in practice. So I think I'm actually going to go for RJ getting the overall. I know as well RJ can be hella inconsistent. He proved that at, was it Anaheim 2 or Anaheim 3, whichever one lows was a Triple Crown as well. But I'm going to go RJ for number 1. I'm going to go Jet for number 2, even though I think Jet's going to be the fastest person on the track in 250s. And then I think the number 3 spot's up for grabs, because it's usually like the Jet, McAdoo, RJ show, but maybe I'm going to go for Levi Kitchen for P3. So that's going to be my 250 overall for tonight. And then in 450s, I think that one's even tougher. I feel like Sexton will get one of the wins, and maybe I think it'd be quite funny to see like Sexton get a win, Webb get a win, and Tomac get a win. I honestly think that Tomac will get the overall. I feel like he just doesn't have as many mistakes in him over the course of an entire night. I think Sexton will get second, and I think Webb will get third, which isn't kind of what I would want to happen, by the way, because I really wouldn't mind seeing Webb hold the championship at the end of this year. I think just to kind of stop the Tomac train, you know. I mean, I don't dislike Tomac by any means, but it gets a little bit boring watching the same person win year after year after year. So maybe a little bit of a shake-up. To be fair, usually I'm very, very far off on my predictions. I remember, oh god, what round was it? There was one round where I said Ferrandis is going to come out and win, and that's the same round that he destroyed himself and got injured badly. So I'm sorry if any of them riders that I mentioned do get injured this weekend. It is what it is. And another thing that I'd like to know, other than your predictions, is do you actually like Triple Crowns? Because sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I really feel like the races are over before they have time to get going. I am a fan of longer format races, but I remember looking back in like the old races, you know, when they replay stuff on YouTube, like super old, maybe like 2014, 2015-ish. I was looking back at some of those, and I remember when they used to do semis, they used to do heats and semis and then mains, and that was a god-awful format as well. You had to be so lucky as someone that's usually not a top 10 guy to make it through in those heats and semis. I think they used to, was it top 4 and then top 5, or top 5 and then top 4 from each one? I can't remember which. Yeah, I like the format that we have now, where it's just heats, LCQ, mains. So you always get those wild card riders thrown in each week. It gives people a chance that don't always make it to get in. But yeah, the Triple Crowns, I don't always like them. I feel like whilst sprinting's good and people will attack the track a little bit more than they would in a 15 or 20 minute long race, I feel like if you make a mistake, that's it. That's race over. And I know that they're supposed to challenge like your consistency over 3 races, but I'd rather see the consistency through a moto, and then if someone is genuinely faster, they can try and catch up throughout the race. That's just me. I am one person with probably a lone opinion on that. I'm sure from a spectator standpoint, the Triple Crowns probably offer some slightly more intense racing. But yeah, one of the things. So 2 things down below that I want from you is, what was your... actually, no, this is the most stupid conversation ever, asking what your picks for the top 3 is, because you're going to be seeing this on Sunday, after the race has happened. I mean, you could give me your predictions, what you was going to predict, but I feel like everyone will just scumbag and be like, yeah, I predicted the top 3 in both classes perfectly, blah, 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 but I don't know. I mean, let me know your thoughts on the Triple Crown format then instead. Another jump that you can do, by the way, is step onto that table out the corner. And I feel like this track suits this bike really, really well. I'm surprised I haven't touched it in a while. It'd be fun to get a big lobby of people on here to step onto that. Lovely. I keep missing this inside part of this section. It doesn't do anything different. You still kind of step over that little single from the inside there. It just cuts the track a little bit shorter and get this triple. Lovely. And I'm just going to go double, double. And you see from the road, I'm running 0.6 at the moment. And oh my Christ. And it's noticeable. You know, it seems to be digging down a decent amount. But I'm very shocked by this bike as a whole. I was fully expecting to get a bike the same as the CRF, just a different colour. So probably, I can't see myself going back and using this bike too many times, because I do love the speed that the Honda has. There's something about being on a bike that small and going that fast that is just really, really satisfying. You can absolutely row some of the corners, like harder than you can on some of the 450s, just because of the lightness of the bike as well and how much grip it has. If you're looking after something that is a bit more realistic in terms of speed for a 110, then I think this one is the way to go. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is still the... is this the Honda front fender on the bike still? I think it is. And then the side plates are Yamaha-esque. I think with OTTM, he has these like Frankenstein-esque creations where just morphs a bunch of different models together to get essentially what we have here. And I don't hate it at all. I'm here for it. Like I say, I like seeing variation in this game. I like seeing different things being used. The only downside I can think of is where this bike and the CRF were released at different times is now when the servers update, OTM's 110 bikes have their own class. So when you're setting up servers, you can choose if you want people to ride, say, 450s, 250s, whatever. If you want to ride these bikes, you have to have both of them downloaded separately. And I feel like 99% of the time, people are going to ride the Honda anyway because it's the better bike. So that's the only downside I can see from this. The rest of it's all Gucci. There's some bits here and there on the model that leave a little bit to be desired, you know, like invisible faces on parts and whatnot. But it's a million times better than anything I could ever make. I've never opened Blender in my entire life, so I have to give respect where respect is due. Thank you very much, sir, for this. And I'm pretty sure when I covered the 110 originally, OTTM asked me to message him because he had something else in the works, and I feel like this was probably it. So yeah, good stuff, and I feel like there might have been... I didn't see it anywhere, but in the post of this, which I'll link so you can go and use it, he said that apparently someone leaked his bike before he had a chance to, so he just had to release it. So maybe this is an early version of it. Maybe we was going to get something a little bit more updated further on the line. Maybe it was a bit faster. Maybe there was some more final touches on the model itself. But overall, I really don't hate it. I'm going to love you and leave you there. Look, I don't know how long this video is. I've actually got my Streamlabs hidden on my other monitor, but I feel like I've waffled on for quite some time. I'm going to edit and render this video, maybe play a little bit of Pro Clubs with Charlie, head off to the gym, and then sit down and watch some qualifying and Triple Crown event for Supercross. Should be a good night overall. I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you guys are up to. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It really, really does mean a lot. And yeah, that'll do it from me. That's enough crashing. Goodbye.